Okay, my outstanding friends, another shocker du jour about marijuana smoking. Is it good or is it bad? Well, who knows? There's a study was just out today that claims that it can damage the endothelium, which is the lining of blood vessels. They call it endothelial dysfunction. Well, what does that mean? Dysfunction. That's like when Musk's rocket ships explode, unscheduled disassembly. That's hysterical. Well, this is unscheduled dysfunction. I don't know. What does it mean? Let's see what it does mean, if we can't determine it. All right, so this is the big deal today. Weed could be wrecking your heart. Study uncovers dangers of smoking and edibles. Now, let's just go right down, cut to the chase, which is here. Along with decreased vascular function, that means your heart, marijuana smokers had changes in their blood serum. In the blood serum, that's the fluids, that were harmful to endothelial cells. Well, what in the blood serum would damage endothelial cells? And what are endothelial cells? And what is blood serum? All right, which form the inner lining of all blood and lymphatic vessels. The endothelial cells are the innermost lining. I'll show it to you. Those who took edibles containing THC, however, did not display these changes in blood serum. So they didn't have the changes in the blood serum. But they say they had damage. They say it's unclear how THC damages blood vessels, but the researchers said it must be happening in a way that does not involve those changes to the blood serum. Well, at this point, I see that they really don't know. They know that they claim you have these effects, which I don't see. It could be, I don't know. They're just saying the participants either regularly smoked marijuana, consumed edibles for an average of and it goes on. Here's what they're saying. It was published, research revealed people who regularly used marijuana had much lower blood vessel function. What is blood vessel function? Similar to levels seen in tobacco smokers. All right, so your blood is reacting similar to something in tobacco smokers. When you ingest something that you just burnt, that's the same as tobacco. It may not have anything to do with nicotine or THC or CBD or ABCDEFG, but it's when you burn something, you have combustibles that are going into your lung. So I could see that. I could see that affecting the vascular function in cannabis users. And they say it reduced about 50% compared to non-users. I don't see that as normal. I see that as obvious. You're going to affect and irritate it and create inflammation and mucus, and it's just a done thing. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, if you eat the stuff, it's different. It says, but it does seem to do something to your vascular system. That's what they're saying. All right, this cuts right to the chase. Regular marijuana use cuts blood vessel function in half, is what they say. A level on par with tobacco smoking. While both edibles and smoking pose cardiovascular risks, that means your heart and your blood vessels, smoking seems uniquely harmful to blood serum and endothelial cells. And I think I've explained that. Yeah, you're inhaling combustible things. You're just burning it right as you're inhaling it. I'm not sure why it would do it, but it would certainly, both of those things happen from burning something that you're inhaling. So I can see that where it would give you could damage things more, yes. Chronic cannabis use, whether smoked or eaten as edible, significantly impairs blood vessel function. So no matter whether you eat both ways, but when you smoke, you're burning up your lungs, basically. You're creating inflammation, and that's going to give off some kind of chemistry. You're changing the chemistry by smoking. Let's just go with that. The rest, if they're right, smoked or eaten, has to be attributed to the THC, CBD, whatever they want to call it. If they both impair blood vessel function, risks mirroring those seen in tobacco smokers. So, if they're right, something is in that THC, CBD, whatever's in the marijuana. And there's active ingredients, and then there's other ones that they don't seem to be active. Let's think of it as the active ingredients. However, all the other things got to be looked at too. If it's coming out of that plant, you want to look at everything. At any rate, let's see what the endothelial cells are. It's causing problem to your blood serum. We got to look at that, and we got to look at the endothelial cells. If you really want to understand something, you got to see what are they talking about. They throw these words out like it's, oh yeah, everybody knows that. No, you don't. I don't know it either. Let's see if we can figure it out. I just caught myself going to go long again. There's no sense in dragging everybody through this. If you're interested, come back for the next video. We're going to be talking about the endothelium, which is the inside of all your blood vessels, basically your arterial areas. Now, I don't know about the veins, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's another thing. These are the kind of things you got to stop. I got to look up. The veins have endothelium. Are they just the arterial network where the good blood comes through there? And what's the function of these? What supports these? What fluids are in these cells? What's inside? What little organelles are there? How do they attach? How do they form these different little attachments here? Do they have tight junctions? There's a million questions to ask, and if you don't answer every one of them, you just don't understand what you're talking about. That's the problem. People just don't understand what they're talking about, and they're done. Well, I want to know what's up with this, what's up with the serum, what's up with the smoke, what's the nitrous oxides and all the different things that are, these gases that are involved when you combust something. Is there a water pipe you could use with some kind of fluid in there that would absorb some of the things that could possibly be inflaming these? How would you tell? Is there bacteria involved? Is there enzymes? Well, there is. I can tell you. I can guarantee you that. And these, anyway, that's why I get carried away, and that's why they take so long. So come back for the next one if you're interested in doing a deep dive on this, because this is about cannabis use, and everybody's using it now. It's very, very, very popular. It always has been. But, the powers that be suppressed it so that they could push other, dope. That's it. We always used to call them drug pushers, which was the pharmacies, and they are. That's what they made things illegal so that they could keep the distribution in-house. All right, I love you all. We'll come back to this.